This game is a work of fiction. Names and groups represented in this game are either the product of the author's imagination, blah blah blah. Otherwise, please enjoy the game within the confined laws. Okay, what are the controls, dude? The tip of the sword was like a flash of light. A spearhead thrust to skewer the heart. Even attempting to evade it was pointless. It was but a flash, too swift for the human eye to follow. And yet, moonlight swept in to save me from the strike that threatened to end me. The sound was beautiful like the tolling of a bell. No, truth be told, the sound hung over me, heavier than an iron weight. This beauty had little to do with aesthetics. The stark armor wrapped about her was like the frozen night itself. The ringing was not in itself pleasant. It was the sound of steel. But the night herself was beautiful enough to make it into the chiming of a bell. I ask of you, are you my master? Her voice resonated in the darkness. I have come in response to your summons. Henceforth my blade is with you, and your fate with me. Our pact is now sealed. Indeed, the pact was sealed, just as she chose to serve me. I'm sure in that moment that I swore to save her. The moonlight cut through the darkness. As if in imitation of the night, the storehouse regained its former calm. Time had stopped. The vision before me had lasted less than a second. Be that as it may, I will always remember the sight of her as clearly as if it were still happening now, even if I fall into the depth of hell. The faint slant of her profile, her serene, divinely green eyes. What the fuck is serene? Okay, I'm gonna be using translator for certain words because, well, my English is not as good as it might be. Serene. Serene. Calm, peaceful, and untroubled, tranquil. Okay, so very calm, basically. For a moment, time stopped. And her silhouette, draped in blue, swayed in the wind. I was struck by the pale blue glow. Her hair, as fine as golden thread, was bathed in moonlight. Fate. This happened 10 years ago. I see someone who takes me back. He's tall, with chiseled features. I've never known him to crack a joke. He ruffles my hair affectionately. No, that's not what this is. It's more like he's grasping my head and working it like a stubborn jar lid. Maybe he doesn't know how to control his strength. That's only to be expected. It's the first time he's ever done something like this. It's time for me to leave. You know what to do next. I answered yes in a somber voice. He nodded once, withdrew his hand and stood up. That's all. Had I known this would be the last time we would ever see each other, I would have done my best to make him laugh with the perfect joke. I would have been practicing punchlines in private in the hopes of finally seeing a smile crack that stony face. If I have one regret, it's that I never got to tell him any of my jokes. Get the association in your depth before you become an adult. Any decisions after that, I leave up to you. I'm sure you will manage on your own. So he said, but I bet he was worried about me. He would told me about our family's heirloom jewels, the gems passed down to us from our grandmaster, and how to manage the underground workshop. It was a rapid-fire course of subjects he would never taught me before. Even as a child, I realized that he would probably never come home again. There was a war. Not a war between countries, but between people. But in this war, there were only 7 combatants. It might not have seemed fitting to call it a war, but having mages involved changes things. 7 mages from different factions competed, but I wasn't sure why. They killed each other using methods I didn't really understand. One of them was the man in front of me. It meant that he would kill and eventually be killed. I'm sure he felt the ticking of his life's clock even more keenly than I did. Rin, before long, the Holy Grail will appear. It is the duty of the Tosakas to obtain it, but above all, it is path we are destined to walk as mages. And with that, he ruffled my hair one last time and left. I never saw him again. My father/teacher was one of the masters who participated in the Holy Grail War. He never came home. Safe travels, father. I bid him farewell as a well-behaved daughter should. I knew I was on the verge of tears, but I didn't let them show. I loved him, he was a great father and an even greater mage. He let me try. Yeah, okay, you can just... How you come back? Jump quick. Play voice, move, back. Okay, axe. Mages are stubborn people. As far as I knew, there wasn't a more upstanding man in the whole world. As my instructor, he trained me. As my father, he loved me. So I decided I would accept the things he left for me and choose my own path. Rin, before long the Holy Grail will appear. It is the duty of Tosakas to obtain it, but above all, it is path we are destined to walk as mages. In the end, his final words for me were given as a mage, not a father. That's the moment I made up my mind. Alright, I guess I would be better do everything I can to become a worthy mage. It's only natural for an apprentice to live up to her master's hopes. That's how I, Rin Tosaka, grew up after experiencing life's twists and turns. It's been 10 years since my father went off to war. I wouldn't say I've been looking forward to this day, but I'm a bit on edge. That goes without saying. After all, that moment which was burned into my memory 10 years ago will soon be upon me again. January 31st. I hear something. Ring ring. Shut up, stop. The noise doesn't stop. It's such an infernal racket, it's almost as if it's here to avenge my father. What now? I was up late, just a little longer. I wish it would just let me sleep a bit more. In fact, it should. I stayed up into the early hours, deciphering my father's will, and I used a hell of a lot of magical energy to do it. I'm totally exhausted, body and mind. Good grief, cut me some slack, would ya? Ring, 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 ring. The alarm clock is deaf to my complaints. What kind of machine makes a noise that seems like its sole purpose is to remind you that you are late? Late. I can't be late. True, but there is a time and place for everything. No matter how much of an overachiever I am, I should try to make it to school on time at least for today, if only slightly.
そうそう。あらかじめ30分ずらして目覚ましをセットしたんだから、あと30分は眠れるはず。
Oh right, I set my alarm 30 minutes early, which means I should still be able to sleep another 30. Doesn't that sound off?
ずらして
30 minutes early. I peer at the alarm clock through sleep-heavy eyelids. The hands point to 7 o'clock on the dot. I usually get up at 6:30, which means I've completely used up my safety margin. Speaking of which, why is my brain so slow in the morning? I glare at the alarm clock for several seconds. I shut off the alarm and climb sluggishly out of bed. The morning chill bites at me as I cross the hallway and enter the parlor. This is the final 7 AM in January. Winters in Fuyuki are relatively warm, but the mornings here are cold as anywhere. Even at home, my breath mists white. It's that much colder without anyone else living here. Danbo. Heater. I turn on the heater and go wash up. Single living is so inconvenient at times like this. If there was someone else here to wake up before me, then the parlor would already be heated. I wash my face at the sink. I run a brush through my long hair and get dressed. Chilly morning in a frigid bathroom. The only thing to be said for it is that the cold water mercilessly beats the sleepiness from me. With a final tug on the ribbon at my collar, I finish getting dressed. All that's left is to have breakfast and go to school. The clock reads just past 7, so my morning rush feels a bit anticlimactic.
なんだ、これなら走っていく必要もないか。
Oh, I don't even need to run then. Of course, I've never do anything so uncouth as sprinting to school. What the fuck is uncouth? Uncouth. Uncouth. Of a person or their appearance or behavior, lacking good manners, refinement, or grace. Okay, so uncouth is like being sort of sluggish, I guess. Well, not sluggish, but like not having grace, I suppose. Tosaka family motto dictates that we conduct ourselves with confidence and elegance at all times. My ancestors must have been some high and mighty aristocrats, if that's what we've taught through the generation. Yeah, if that's what we've taught through the generations. The anachronistic mansion I live in is proof enough of that. Plus, the Tosakas are a line of spell weavers who practice what is known as magecraft. We're not just an old family, we have an admirably storied history.
まあ自慢できることでもないんだけど。
Not that it's anything to brag about. In fact, I literally can't talk about it. The truth is, I'm a mage. How could I even brag about that too? As the name suggests, magecraft is what most normal people would see as magic. It sounds like some supernatural woo-woo, and if you would like to think of it as just wiggling your fingers and saying abracadabra, that's fine too. Just think of us as people who chant weird words and make equally weird stuff happen. That said, we don't fly around on broomsticks, we don't shoot stars out of wands either. We can do things kind of like that, but there is no point, so we don't. We're pretty much heretics who lurk in the shadows of society. We're not allowed to draw attention to ourselves, and anyone who has time for that kind of thing would rather spend it on their research. Ordinary humans might call us magicians, but that would be wrong. In fact, there are only 5 magicians in the whole world. Magicians are what we call people who can do something no one else can. They can accomplish feats beyond the means of modern science and perform genuine miracles. Similarly, magic is the label we use for mystics, magical mysteries that can't be realized with any amount of time or skill. While magecraft, though it looks mysterious, is something anyone can do with enough time and resources, I'm a mage, and the kind of mystics I use are merely magecraft, not true magic. I'm not so sure about like how this translation codes like different types of magic in Fate, because I just don't remember what it used to be. So magecraft is like low tier magic, and I assume like for mystics, yeah. Confusing, I know, but that's how it works. Also, modern civilization doesn't accept the existence of mages. We believe in, manipulate, and study things that can't be measured, which puts us at odds with modern society. Above all, there is no point to any of what we do. You would be so much happier just going off to a normal school and becoming a normal adult than you would studying magecraft. Human technology has accomplished great things. For the last few centuries, magecraft has been playing catch-up to the progression of civilization. Nothing is impossible for humanity anymore. Miracles that could only be realized with magecraft in the distant past have been reduced to common tools and appliances. Even so, magecraft does have its benefits. Just as there are some things only science can accomplish, there remain heights only mystics can reach. So I think mystics is the word for like a mage, right? If so, or maybe it's like a word for magecraft. I don't know. If science is racing into the future, then mages are racing into the past. I think the Tosaka Grandmaster said that. Whether you're heading into the past or the future, your destination is the same, 0 or something like that. We can shelve the difficult topics for now. Philosophy is for the elderly. Finish my breakfast and pick up my bag. Oh, right, I'm gonna bring my pendant. I'm reluctant to take something so valuable to school, but it would be a waste to leave it behind. I mean, this thing's 100 years old. It's by far the most powerful jewel we have. One could even say it is on an entirely different level. I obtained the gem after decoding my father's will last night. It's imbued with 10 years worth of my own magical energy. I've been told that the Tosaka family has heirloom jewels passed down since the olden days, and this might be one of them. Tosaka mages specialize at the conversion and flow of power. We channel our magical energy into precious gems whenever we have a spare moment. Simply put, I'm the gun and the jewels are bullets. The other main thing I've inherited from my father is the magic crest engraved into my left arm. The magic crest is proof that I'm the heir to our lineage. It's like all the techniques of the Tosaka condensed into a tattoo. Can't let my guard down if it hasn't started yet. For now, I stow my pendant, my father's keepsake, in a pocket. It's my trump card. There is nothing I can do with the power stored in there. It's 10:30. I would better leave soon if I don't want to be late for school. Okay, I'm not gonna read this. I weave energy into a brief foreign phrase. As a mage, I can't neglect the security of my home base. That still applies even if I've never had so much as single burglar, lost child, or stray can wander into my home. Actually, I don't think the neighbors have ever even come over to say hello.
別にいいけどね。野良猫でさえ入ってこないってどういうことよ。
That's fine with me, but why don't I ever get any stray cats around here? I look up at the mansion that's been my home for over a decade. Fuyuki is a strange city. One side of the intersection dividing the residential areas is filled with old samurai estates, while the side I'm on has an abundance of mansions built in European style. Apparently, a whole bunch of foreign families immigrated here long ago, but I've never seen a single foreigner around. There is even a cemetery for foreigners in Shinto, the new part of the city, across the river, but it was built for the generation that immigrated here.
日本の土が合わなかったのかな。
Maybe Japan just didn't suit them. I make a mental note to ask the priest about it next time I visit the church. He's nothing if not full of boring trivia for sure. Priest full of boring trivia is
あれ
a pretty nice guy. Something feels off as soon as I step outside.
なんだろう。思ったより静かなんですけど。
That's weird. It's quieter than I thought. There is no trace of the typical morning bustle. At 7:30 in the morning, there would normally be students and workers on their daily commute.
まあ、こういう日もあるか。
I guess it's just one of those days. Maybe everyone slept in. It's unusually cold today, so everyone must be snuggled up in bed.
けどさすがに。
Still, though, even if that were true, it's strange that there isn't a single student on the street. This time of day, you would expect to see at least a school uniform or two. And yet, from where I'm standing at the school gate, it looks like morning club activities are just starting up. Which can only mean...
あれ、遠坂？今朝は一段と早いのね。
Oh, Tosaka, you're awfully early today.
やっぱりそうきたか。
I knew it. With a light sigh, I turned to face the student who called out to me.
おはよう。今日も寒いね、こりゃ。
Morning sure is cold today. The girl who addresses me so casually is Ayako Mitsuzuri. She's my classmate in 2A, and she has quite a
お
history.
はよう、三辻さん。つかぬことを聞くけど、今何時だかわかる？
Morning, Mitsuzuri, and sorry for the weird question, but do you know what time it is?
何時って7時前じゃない。遠坂寝ぼけてる？
It's not even 7 yet. You still asleep or something? She waves her hand in front of my face as if to ask if anybody's home. Ayaka is one of my few friends, and she knows I'm not a morning person. She's probably figured out by now that I'm still not completely with
う
it.
ちの時計、1時間早かったみたい。しかも軒並み。
The clocks at home are an hour ahead, all of them apparently.
目覚まし時計はおろか、柱時計まできっかり早まってた。
I thought it was just my alarm clock, but the grandfather clock was off too. What's going on here? Father must have set the clocks to go haywire once I took the pendant out of the underground cellar.
遠坂？
気にしないで。別に大したことじゃないから。それより、三辻さんは今日も朝練？
Tosaka, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Are you on your way to morning practice, Mitsuzuri?
ええ。弓道部は問題児も多いし、うまいのが一人減ったからね。4月の新入生獲得のために少しぐらいは見栄えを良くしとかないと。
Yeah, there is a lot of troublemakers in the Kudo club, and we're down one of our best shooters. We need to put on a good show if we're going to attract first years in April.
そう。気苦労が絶えないのね、相変わらず。
I see, sounds rough.
他人事だからって言ってくれるわ。あ、ついでだから見ていく？遠坂が見学する分には男どもも喜ぶけど。
Way to show you care. Oh, wanna come see? I'm sure the boys would love to know you're watching.
弓道部。
Kudo Club, huh? I'm acquainted with 3 of its members. One is Ayako, the girl I'm talking to now. I barely ever speak to the other 2. Of those latter 2, there is one that I actually can't explain away as simply an acquaintance. I became friends with Ayako, the club captain, because I had been watching the club from afar.
そうね。様子を見るだけなら付き合うわ。早く来すぎたからやることもないし。
Okay, as long as just watching, I will come. It's not like I have anything else to do this early in the morning.
よし、じゃあゼンは急げ。早速行こう。
Nice, then let's get going. One of our school's trademarks is its well-equipped archery range. The chair of the school board has a passion for Kudo, traditional Japanese archery, so they built a magnificent range on campus. It's kind of waste for a high school club, to be honest.
ほらほら、まだ開始まで時間があるし、中でお茶しようぜ、遠坂。
Come on, let's go. There is still time before practice starts, so I'll get you some tea. Ayako tugs on my arm, looking somewhat pleased. If I'm being honest, her brusque way of speaking is a bad habit. As Ayako said, there is no one else at the range. We sip Japanese tea that's so hot it numbs my tongue as we prepare ahead for today's classes. The hot drink is delicious in the quiet, wintry archery range.
さて、単刀直入に聞くけど、そっちの調子はどうなのよ、遠坂。いい加減頼りになる相棒は見つかった？
Okay, I'll get right down to it. What's up with you today, Tosaka? Did you finally reel in someone good? And she uses the occasion to ask me something completely ridiculous.
ほんと、いきなり本題に入るのね、あなたは。
Ooh, you're just getting straight to it today, huh?
その言いぶりだと、そっちはもう見つけたんだ。
Should I take that tone to mean you beat me to the punch?
ノーコメント。遠坂が手を沸かすまではこっちも秘密さ。で、どうなのよ。その疲れた顔を見ると脈ありって感じだけど。
No comment. If you're not showing your cards, then neither am I. So how about it? If you being so tired is anything to go by, I bet I'm right on the mark. If you being so tired is anything to go by, I bet I'm right on the mark.
こっちもノーコメント。
Okay.
あやこの方は、お互いのんびりしてる余裕はないはずだけど。
No comments either, but I guess even if I tried to hide it, you would see right through me. Sadly, not yet. What about you? Can you really afford to take your time on the romantic front?
そうなんだけど。私も雲行きは怪しいわ。とりあえず取り繕うことはできるけど、ことがことでしょ。この先の命運がかかってるんだから妥協するわけにもいかないし。
You are not wrong. Things aren't looking too good. Sure, I could grab someone just for appearances, but quality matters, you know? I shouldn't compromise when my future is on the line.
勝手に決めて私に負けるのも嫌？
Are you that worried you will make the wrong choice and lose to me?
もちろん。私にとって重要なのはあんたを任すことだもの。何が手に入るとか何を手に入れるとかは二の次よ。
Obviously, the important thing here is that you lose to me. What I actually gain in the process is secondary, really. She chuckles confidently.
似た者同士ね、私たち。
Ha, we're two peas in a pod.
ええ、初めて会った時に言ったでしょ。あんたとはそういう関係にあるんだって。
Yeah, I told you when we met that this is what it would be like between us. She did, didn't she? Kill or be killed, I'm sure that's how it will be between the two of us. I was genuinely surprised to have someone say that right off the bat. Translation: Our friendship won't bloom unless we're constantly trading blows, is what Ayaka was getting at. I agree with her. In 2 years since then, I still haven't figured out whether she's my friend or my nemesis.
ところでさ、私たちなんでこんな話してるんだっけ？
Ooh, how did we get on this again?
なんでって言い出したのは遠坂でしょ。
What? You started it, Tosaka.
あんたがいつまでも彼氏がいないのは女としてどうよなんてこぼすもんだから。なら3年になる前にどっちが先に男作るかって勝負になったんじゃない。
You complain that you've never had a boyfriend, so we decided to make it a contest to see who catches one first, remember?
ああ、そうだった。売り言葉に買い言葉ってやつだった。で、遅れを取った方が一日言いなりになるんだっけ？
Oh, right, that was the deal. We said that whoever loses has to do whatever the winner says for a day, right?
ええ、今時子供でも交わさない約束だけど、あんたと私に限って往生際が悪いってことはないでしょ。
Yep, I don't think even kids make deals like this anymore, but we're both sore
どんな結
losers.
果になろうと、負けた方はおとなしく勝者に従うことになる。それを思うと私は今から楽しみで楽しみで。
No matter what happens, the loser has to honor the deal. Gotta say, I'm looking forward to winning. Ayako sneakers in delight. My goodness, Ayaka Mitsuzuri is, to put it mildly, a handful. I will admit, I'm looking forward to winning myself, so that goes for us both.
そう。けど三辻さん、楽しむのは結構だけど、目的を違えないよう気をつけなさい。勝負の内容は後先だけじゃないでしょ。
I see. But Mitsuzuri, you can look forward to the future. Don't lose sight of the goal. There is more to our contest than being first to the finish.
分かってるって。遠坂より早く遠坂が心底羨ましがるような関係にならないと完全勝利とは言えないからね。
I know, it's not a real victory unless it's a relationship that makes you green with envy.
私たちにとってはそれが一番厄介な問題なんだが、どんなにいい男だろうと好きになれなきゃ意味がない。
That's the biggest challenge for us both, though. It doesn't matter how great of guy he is if he can't bring ourselves to love him. Ayaka's size is heavy. From what I've heard, she's known as a bit of a misandrist. Can't put too much stock in gossip, though. That she made this bet at all means less than she just doesn't like boys and more that she hasn't found the right person.
ちょっと。
That aside,
私たちって何よ、私たちって。
wait, when did this become we?
断っておきますけど、私はそっちと違って冷血感じゃありません。男の子を好きになるなんて問題でも何でもないわ。
I'll have you know that I'm not a nice queen like you. I would have no problem liking a boy.
ああ、それ嘘。もしくは気づいていないだけ。遠坂が男を気にかけるなんてことは絶対ないもの。
Yeah, not buying it. Maybe you just haven't realized it, but I can't imagine you getting soft on a
今
boy.
まで数えきれないぐらい告白されたくせに一つも色良い返事してないじゃない。少しでも興味があるなら付き合おうって思うでしょ。なのに断り続けるってことはあんたは男に興味がないってことよ。
You're always getting asked out, and you've never once said yes. You would think that if you were actually interested, you would at least date a few. I would say your record speaks for itself. You don't care about boys.
発想が貧困ね。その場合、すでに好きな相手がいるから断ってるって話もありじゃない？
You have no imagination at all, do you? What if I already have feelings for someone?
おお、すっごい美談。いいね、そういうの。ロマンだな。
Whoa, talk about tall tales. But sure, I can appreciate a good romance. Ayaka's tone isn't mocking, she nods solemnly. Her sigh tell me that it would be nice if it were true. I don't believe myself. I really can't hide anything from her.
そうね。私もそう思う。
So can I? She's right. I know very well how cold I am.
認めるわ。私、こと恋愛に関しては素人みたい。
I will concede that I'm novice when it comes to romance.
そういうこと。似た者同士だって言ったの遠坂でしょ。
That you are. Two peas in a pod, right?
もうじき7時か。秘密の話はこの辺にしとこう。いつ人がやってくるかわからないし、朝になったら学生らしく振る舞わないとな。
Damn it. Damn, it's already 7. We'd better cut the secret meeting short. Who knows when someone might walk in on us. Time to start acting like students.
あ、三辻さんにもそういう世間体があったなんて意外だわ。ねえ、これだけでも早起きした甲斐があったみたい。
Oh, look at you. What a social butterfly. It was worth waking up early just to see it.
あんたほど筋金入ってないけどね。私の世間体なんて遠坂凛に比べたら灯籠の斧ってもんよ。あんたの猫っかぶりは擬態っていうより別人格のレベルよ。別人格。
Not as much as the great Rin Tosaka. I'm the David to your Goliath. Your ability to fake being a goody two shoes at school is practically an alternate personality. Ayaka sniffs exaggeratedly. How the fuck you pronounce that? Exaggeratedly.
Exaggeratedly.
Okay, I actually kinda didn't butcher the pronunciations. Exaggeratedly. Here we go. I empty the rest of the teacup. She poured me and brew a new pot. She poured me. Yeah.
で、遠坂はどうして部活に入らないのよ。運動神経がないなんてざれ言は聞かないからね。私は去年の体力測定でことごとくあんたに負けたのまだ恨んでるんだから。
So, why not join a club? Don't feed me your usual bull about being unathletic. I still haven't forgotten how you beat me in every fitness test last year.
あら、肺活量では三辻さんに負けたわよ、私。あと、体重も三辻さんのが上だったけど。
You had me beat in lung capacity though, and weight.
やったー、重さで3キロ上回った。
Yeah, I gained 3 kilos.
で、体重で勝っても嬉しくないってのよ、このタヌキ。
The fuck? Wait, that's nothing to celebrate, damn it, you tricked me. Ayaka slaps the table.
危ない。お茶がこぼれるでしょ、三辻さん。首相なんだから道場は大事になさい。
Careful, you might spill the tea. Shouldn't the club captain be taking better care of the place?
うるさい。私は首相である前に遠坂のライバルだ。
Shut it. I'm your rival first and club captain somewhere after that.
部員がいなけりゃあんたに食ってかかるのは当然よ。
If there is no one else around, you can bet I'm ready to take the fight to you. Ayaka's side eyes beam with a huff. She has a unique idea about beauty. A beautiful woman must walk the martial path. She's always going on about that. Not surprisingly, she's well versed in most martial arts. Kyudo was the discipline she was least skilled at, so she joined the club and worked her way up to captain. She's probably one of the top 3 people in our school you would at least want to mess with.
あら、部員がいなければ首相じゃないなんて問題発言じゃないそれ。
Should you really be saying that you stop being a captain if none of your club members are around?
問題発言なもんですか。私はお飾りの首相だから、できることって言ったら不良部員を取り締まることだけよ。
Why not? I'm only captain for show. I can just have the more unruly members take care of any grunt work.
私以上にしゃがりっぱなやつがいるんだから、首相としての面目なんてないわ。
Plus, there is better shooters than me anyway. I don't have any captain's honor to defend.
そうなの？藤村先生、三辻さんは飛び抜けてうまいって言ってたけど。
That's so? I recall Mrs. Fujimura saying you were the best they had.
あの人がそう言うんなら、そりゃ少しは自信が持てるけど、まあいなくなっちまったやつのことなんて考えても仕方ないか。そうね、藤村先生がそう言ってくれたんなら真面目に首相やんないとまずいか。
Ooh, coming from her, that's a bit of an ego boost, but still, she's only saying that because of the guy who left. You're right though, if Mrs. Fujimura thinks that much of me, I would better act like a real captain.
そうそう。噂をすれば影。そろそろ部員がやってくる頃でしょ。私はおいとまするけど、三辻さんはきちんと首相になりなさい。
That's the spirit. And speak of the devil, here come your clubmates now. Time for me to go, but make sure you do your part.
何見ていかないのシャ
What? You are not going to watch us shoot?
見てもわからないもの。遠くから眺める分にはいいけどね。不心得者が道場にいるわけにはいかないでしょ。
I wouldn't understand it even if I did. It's one thing to watch from afar, but the uninitiated shouldn't loiter in the dojo. Just as I get up to leave, the first club members begin entering the archery range.
おはようございます、師匠。
Good morning, Captain.
ああ、おはようマト。今朝は一人
Morning, Mato. Are you by yourself today?
はい。力になれず、申し訳ありません。
Yes, I'm sorry I couldn't convince him to come.
ああ、いいっていいって。本人が弓をやらないって言うんなら、無理をさせても仕方がない。
It's fine. If he doesn't want to, there is no point forcing him. Ayako speaks to the first club member to
そ
arrive.
れじゃあ失礼するわ。また後でね、三辻さん。
I will be going then. See you later, Mitsuzuri.
ああ、また後でね、遠坂。
Yeah, later,
お
Tosaka.
疲れ様です。遠坂先輩。
Have a good day, Tosaka.
ありがとう。さくらもしっかりね。
Thanks. Hang in there, Sakura. I leave the dojo behind so as not to get in the way.
いやあ、遠坂。おはよう。朝から君に会えるなんてついてるな。
Morning, Tosaka. Funny running into you so early. Oh no, and here comes the person I least wanted to see.
おはよう、マト君。今日は早いのね。
Good morning, Mato. You are here early.
当たり前だろ。首相なんだから。早めに来ないと一年に示しがつかないじゃないか。
Of course I am. I'm the captain, so I need to set a good example for the first years. Shinji Maro from class 2C grins at me. He's the vice captain of the Kyudo club and darling of half the girls at school. It's mostly thanks to his looks, of course, but he's also admired for his good grades, social graces, being kind to girls, and being an overall heartthrob, or something like that. I really don't follow that kind of stuff, it's just what I hear my classmates say.
そう。ご機嫌なところ悪いんだけど、一文字抜けてるわ、マト君。大事な字だから忘れない方がいいと思うけど。
I see. Hate to burst your bubble, but I'm pretty sure you are forgetting an important part of that motto. Try to remember next time.
一文字抜けてるって何ですか？
What's that?
幸福の福。字は違うけど響きは一緒でしょ、副首相さん。気をつけなさい。別に首相も副首相も変わらないけど、変に意識するとこだわってるみたいに聞こえるでしょ。
Vice. I don't care whether you're captain or vice captain, but if you make a point of leaving it out, people might think it bothers you, vice captain.
そうだね。今後は気をつける。ありがとう、遠坂。
You're right. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, Tosaka.
お礼を言われるようなことはしてないけど、まあマト君がそう思ったのなら私には関係ないか。
Not sure I did anything you should thank me for, but hey, I'm not going to stop you. With that, I turned to leave the range.
ちょっと待て。見学に来たんだろう。なら見ていけばいいじゃないか。遠坂の大歓迎だよ。
Hang on. You are here to watch, aren't you? You are more than welcome to stay.
遠慮するわ。練習の邪魔をしたくないもの。
Pass. I don't want to interrupt your practice.
そんなの構わないよ。他の連中が気に障るんなら締め出すからさ。ちょっと寄っていけって。
I don't mind at all. If anyone says otherwise, I'll kick them out, so why don't you stick around?
だから邪魔をする気はないって言ってるでしょ。
I already said I don't want to intrude.
それに私別に弓道に興味があるわけじゃないから。
It's not as if I'm particularly interested in Kyudo.
知らないやつのシャを見ても嬉しくないわ。
I'm not really excited to watch a bunch of people I don't know shooting arrows.
なんだよ、遠坂。弓道に興味はなかったのか。
What's that, Osaka? You don't care about Kyudo?
だっていうのに、放課後になると遠く
Huh, I must just be confused after seeing you watching us after school so many times. I don't know what he's playing at, but he seems to have seriously misunderstood things.
なんだ知ってたのマト君。
So you knew, Mato.
ああ、よく目があったんだぜ。僕と遠坂。茶を終えてさ、斬新の時に限って遠坂は僕を見ていたよ。
Yeah, our eyes met often, you and I saw you watching me.
声を返したかったけど、一応決まりでね。車上では声を上げちゃいけないんだ。
I wanted to call out to you, but you know how it is, I can't raise my voice on the range. Shinji starts closing in on me, looking pleased with himself. I see the triumphant glint in his eye competing with that affable smile. What is affable? Affable. Friendly, good-natured, or easy to talk to. Okay, so just friendly, basically.
勘違いしてたよ。
Ah,
遠坂は弓が好きなんだと思ってたけど、弓道には興味がないんだろ。ならなんで遠坂の道場を見ていたの？
I had it wrong all along. I thought you liked watching us shoot, but you aren't interested. Why were you watching then, Tosaka? Oh, now I see. It would sound like that, wouldn't it?
離れてくれないかしらマト君。私あまり人に近寄られるのは好きじゃないし。
Would you mind taking a step back, Mato? I like my personal space.
なに遠坂？
What was that, Tosaka?
あ、切れた。ここまで言ってもわからないのね。
Whoa, you're still not getting it.
趣味じゃないけど仕方ないか。簡単にあなたにも理解できるように言ってあげる。
This isn't my usual style, but I guess it's what it will take. Here, I will make this real simple, so even you can understand.
いいマト君。私は弓道に興味がない以上にあなたに興味はないって言ってるのよ。実際あなたが車上にいたなんて今初めて知ったぐらいだし、きっとこれからも目に入らないわ。
I'm even less interested in you than I am in Kyudo. I didn't even know you were in the club, and I doubt I will remember next time either.
なんだと？
What did you just say? I must have touched a nerve because he tries to grab me roughly. I twist out of his reach and turn to leave.
それじゃあねマト君。自意識過剰なのも結構だけど、ほどほどにしておいた方がいいわよ。
Bye, Mato. Sometimes a little self-consciousness can do you good.
遠坂、お前。
Tosaka, you little... Shinji sounds like he's about to say something, but he keeps his temper and doesn't chase after me. This guy is all style, no substance. If he had even a little backbone, the people around him wouldn't suffer nearly so much. I take the rare entrance into campus from the archery range. It's past 7 now, but there still aren't students in the hallways.
あれ遠坂さんだ。
Hey, it's Tosaka.
おはようございます藤村先生。
Good morning, Mrs. Fujimura.
おはよう遠坂さん。ちゃんと挨拶してくれて先生は嬉しいよ。
Yep, good morning to you. I just love how you are so polite to teachers like me. The strange woman pretends to sob in delight. It may be hard to believe, but this extraordinarily affectionate and happy-go-lucky woman is actually a teacher here.
先生、ちゃんと挨拶をする以外にする挨拶があるのでしょうか。
Is there another way to say good morning?
あるわよ。1年生はちゃんと挨拶してくれるんだけどね。上級生になってくると私の名字で挨拶しないんだから。遠坂さんはああいう輩の真似しちゃダメだからね。
There sure are. The first years all greet me properly, but once they are upperclassmen, they stop using my surname. Don't follow their example, alright?
はあ、よくわかりませんけど、先生に失礼なことはしませんが。
Oh, I'm not quite sure I understand, but I wouldn't be rude to you.
よしよし。ああ、みんながみんな遠坂さんみたいだ
Good girl. Oh, how I wish they could be more like you, Tosaka. With a parting wave and a see ya, Mrs. Fujimura leaves. Fortunately, she isn't my homeroom teacher. Mrs. Fujimura teaches English. Her sunny attitude belies her expert rank in Japanese fencing, kendo. In her student days, they called her the Fuyuki Tiger. That's the mystery, though. You would think someone known as a tiger would be feared, not adored, right? Mrs. Fujimura cheerily heads off in the direction of the archery range. For some reason, she is the faculty advisor to the Kyudo club instead of the Kendo club. It's just before 7:30. I can see students doing their club activities on the school grounds, but there is hardly anyone indoors, except Tosaka. He always blurts out my name like I did something wrong every time he sees me.
あら、生徒会長。こんな朝早くから校舎の見回り？それとも各部室の手入れかしら？どっちでもいいけど相変わらず豆ね、そういうとこ。
Well, if it isn't the student council president, it's a little early for patrolling campus, isn't it? Or are you maybe fixing up the club rooms? You're diligent as always, not that I care.
そういうお前こそ何を企んでいる。部活動もしていないお前がこんな早くに何の用か。
And just what are you doing? You're not even in a club, so why you are here so early?
ただの気まぐれよ。竜斗くんちみたいに早起きじゃないもの、私。
I just felt like it. I'm not an early riser like your family, Ryudo. The student council president's handsome face darkens with suspicion. He seems to have it out for me. I really don't know why. Maybe me saying temples are so dull pass is what started it.
一つ聞いておくが、最近夜遅くまで校舎にいたことはあるか、登坂。
One question for you. Have you been staying late on campus lately, Tosaka?
ないわね。私が帰宅部だって知ってるでしょ、竜斗くんは。
No, I'm in the Go Home Club, you know that.
当然だ。生徒会長を任された以上、全校生徒の情報は把握している。
Naturally, as the appointed student council president, I'm well acquainted with all of our students' affairs.
そう。なら私に聞くまでもないでしょ。なんだってそんなことを聞くか知らないけど、生徒会の仕事を部外者に押し付けちゃまずいんじゃない？
That's nice. I'm not sure why you bothered asking then. I hope you are not trying to pawn your student council work off on outsiders.
情報収集は一人でやりなさいよ。私みたいな部外者に頼らないで。
Spy on your fellow students yourself, don't ask me. It's got nothing to do with me.
たわけ、お前のどこが部外者だ。
In what way are you an
うち
outsider?
の会計の首根っこ掴んで悪さをしたのを知らぬと思ったが、このメギツレ。
Don't think I haven't noticed the way you used your wiles to get your hooks into our treasurer, you vixen.
あら、人聞きが悪いわね。あれは三辻さんに頼まれて部費の割合を明らかにしただけでしょ。
Well, that was uncalled for. Mitsuzuri just asked me to publicize your club budget
み
allocation.
んなの予算がどこに使われているか調べるなんて生徒として当然の行為だと思うけど。
Don't the students have a right to know how their funds are being spent?
なんと、うちの会計を1週間休ませた精神的ダメージが当然の行為なのか。とんでもない倫理観をお持ちのようだな、相変わらず。
That's all it was to you, was it? The psychological damage you inflicted on the treasurer made her take an entire week off. I shouldn't be surprised to see just how twisted your ethics are.
あなたもね、部下の手綱ぐらいちゃんと握ってなさい。
Look who's talking. You ought to keep your staff on a tighter leash.
文化系ばかりひいきするのはフェアじゃないわ。
Playing favorites with the cultural clubs doesn't seem fair to me.
わかっている。だからこそ俺の手で不正を正したかったのだが。
I know that. That's why I was going to audit them myself. It's fixed, they say. Just then, an unexpected visitor makes his presence now.
悪い。頼んだのはこっちなのに、エミヤに任せっきりにしてしまった。 許せ。
Oh, sorry, Emiya. You are doing all the work while I'm out here, and I just asked for your help with the repairs. Forgive me. Don't worry about it. Where's the next one? We don't have much time.
ああ、次は視聴覚室だ。前から調子が悪かったそうなんだが、この度ついに天寿を全うされた。
The AV room then. The equipment's been acting up for a while and it finally gave up the ghost. If it's completely broken, I can't fix it. It would be easier to buy a new
そうなん
one.
だが、一応見てくれると助かる。俺から見れば臨終だが、お前から見れば仮病かもしれん。
You're right, but I would still appreciate it if you would take a look. It looks like it's on its deathbed to me, but you might be able to nurse it back to health. I actually did not remember that Shiro has no voice acting in, like, even in Rialta Noah. So that's interesting. Okay, I will try. Beckoned by the other student, the president leaves. I would stop thinking during the sudden turn of events. The other boy, wrench and screwdriver in hand, turns as if he's remembered something. You're early today, Tosaka. He awkwardly mutters and leaves. Was that supposed to be a greeting? The president and the student called Emiya walk off into the distance. That would be Shiro Emiya from class 2C.
それはいいんだけどさ。
I hope that's all it was. How do I put it? The wrench looked right at home in his hands, but I'm not sure if it's because it makes him look tough or handy. Definitely doesn't make him look tough. At 7:30 a.m. there is nobody else in classroom 2A. I take a seat at my desk and flip through my math workbook. There is still 30 minutes until morning homeroom. I've got time to kill until my classmates start arriving. The classroom is lively as lunch break begins after 4th period. My school has a cafeteria, so only about half of the students stay in the room. It's mostly girls that stay behind. The girls think the cafeteria is a bit too liberal with the seasoning, so...
東坂さん、よかったらお昼ご飯一緒に食べませんか？
Tosaka, would you like to have a lunch with me? We girls tend to enjoy our lunches as a group.
ありがとう、三枝さん。けどごめんなさい。私今日は学食なんです。今朝は寝過ごしてしまってお弁当を作る余裕がなかったものですから。
I'm sorry I can't, Saisuga, but thanks for asking. I will be eating in the cafeteria today. I overslept this morning, so I didn't have time to make lunch.
いや、そうなんですか。ごめんなさい。そうとも知らず呼び止めてしまって。
Oh,
余計なことしましたね。
of course. Sorry for ambushing you with that. Saigusa looks guilty at her feet. Guiltily at her feet. Among the refined and well-behaved students of Class A, she's the most demure. For some reason, she's really nice to me.
余計なことだなんてそんなことはありません。今日はたまたまだから気にしないで。また明日これに懲りず声をかけてください。
There is nothing to apologize for. I just didn't have time to make a lunch today. Please ask me again tomorrow. I let her down as gently as I can and offer a genuine smile.
はい。でも東坂さんでも寝過ごすことがあるんですね。
Oh, okay. So even you slip in too, huh? Perhaps my smile made her feel better. Saigusa turns back to her table looking relieved. She's adorable. Yukika Saigusa isn't drop-dead gorgeous, but her smile always puts everyone around her at ease.
ええ、そうなんです。なんとかごまかしてますけど、本当は寝ぼすけなんですよ、私。部活だって朝起きられないから入ってないんです。
It does happen. I don't let it show, but I'm really not a morning person. I can't get up early enough to be in any clubs. Saigusa somehow maintains an elegant air even when startled. Watching her reactions is always so calming, but that doesn't mean I have time to just stand here and talk. If I keep up a conversation with someone so disarming, the real me is bound to show
そ
herself.
れじゃあ食堂に行ってきます。三枝さんもごゆっくり。
I'm off to the cafeteria then. Enjoy your lunch.
はい、東坂さんも。
You too, Tosaka. Saigusa and I exchange some graceful greetings and she returns to her friends. I see that she's eating with Kaede Makidera and Kane Himuro. Oh right, wasn't Saigusa the track and field club manager? Makidera and Himuro are the track and field club's rising stars. Makidera's a bad influence with whom I go window shopping on days off, but I don't know Himuro too well.
お、売られたね、ユキッチ。だから言ったでしょ。遠坂は弁当持ってこないって。釣りたかったらあいつの分も飯用意しないとね。
Looks like you got dumped, Saichi. Told ya that Tosaka didn't bring lunch. If you wanna hook her, you gotta bring enough food for both of you.
マキ、それは私たちも食堂に移動すればいいだけの話では。
Maki, can't we just go to the cafeteria with her too then?
ダメダメ。食堂は狭いんだから。弁当組が座れるスペースなんてねっての。それに遠坂と同席してみなさい。男どもの視線がうざいのなんの。
Nah, it's too cramped in there to share space with us brown beggars. Plus, it's really annoying how the boys stare when you sit next to Tosaka.
休みだってさ。二人で遊びに行ったのに、あいつだけ得しちゃってさ。やだよね。美人を鼻にかけた優等生は。
The last time we hung out, she hogged all the attention. She's an overachiever and all swanky too. I can't take it. Makidera takes hold of Saigusa's desk and she continues to rant about me. Despite her foul mouth, she actually wears a kimono really well, like a picturesque Japanese beauty.
君の陰口は遠坂城に聞こえているようだが。
Makinoji, Lady Tosaka can hear everything you are saying. Meanwhile, Himura's cool and solid demeanor are a complete foil to that of Makidera. Okay, how the fuck you say that? Demeanor. Demeanor. Okay, I can't speak. Outward behavior or bearing. Okay. So basically like something like manners, way of behaving. Demeanor.
やべ、遠坂に聞かれた。ゲゲ、めっちゃ睨んでるじゃん、あいつ。
Oh crap, did she hear me? Oh, I bet she's totally glaring at me.
別に遠坂さん、マキちゃんを睨んでなんかないと思うけど。
I don't think she's glaring at you.
睨んでんだよ、あれ。あいつは笑ってる時が一番怖いんだから。なんだよ、いいじゃんか、口ぐらい。多めに見ろよ。私と遠坂の仲だろ。たい焼きおごってやっただろ。
She's totally shooting lasers. It's the scariest when she's smiling at you. Oh, come on, just let it slide. We're pals, remember? I treated you to taiyaki that one time. Kaede Makidera puffs her cheeks out in a pout, waving her disposable chopsticks in the air. Would you believe that her hobby is collecting wind chimes? The world works in strange ways. At any rate, it's rude to Saigusa to stare at the three of them. Caught between me and the foul-mouthed Makidera, Saigusa looks like she doesn't know what to do with herself.
しないでいいのよ、三枝さん。
It's alright, Saigusa.
それと牧寺さん、おごらされたのは私で、品物はたい焼きではなくクレープでした。無意識に事実を改ざんする悪癖、次あたりに直さないと考えますよ。
And Makidera, I was the one who treated you to creeps, not taiyaki. You really ought to fix how often you work in hyperbole.
マジ怖え、あの笑顔。
That smile scared the daylights out of me. Makidera holds up her lunchbox lid like some kind of shield. I bid the odd trio farewell, leave the classroom, and slide the door closed. Oops.
なんだよ、大差ないじゃんか、たい焼きもクレープも。どっちも甘いの、皮で包んでるんだからさ。
Oh, give me a break. Taiyaki, creeps, what's the difference? They're both sweet things wrapped in carbs. Makidera utters something blasphemous for a girl.
たい焼きとクレープが同じですって？
She thinks taiyaki and crepes are the same? Is she even human? Are all desserts the same to her? If I would known that her taste buds can distinguish Fleur's 500 yen very very berry from a 80 yen taiyaki at Edomaeya Demyukaere Makidera, I could have saved 420 yen.
何本気で悔しがってるんだ私。
Whoa, what am I getting actually upset for? I must still be tired from last night. The cafeteria sounds like a pain, so I'll just buy some bread from the counter and eat on the roof. I purchased my lunch and head to the unoccupied roof. I'm actually gonna take a break, guys. It's been an hour of reading non-stop, so yeah, short break and I'm gonna be back. What we got? Oh man, okay, let me figure out the UI a little bit because I'm not gonna finish. I'm definitely not gonna finish Prologue today. Oh, there are also controller binds. Advanced. So again, advanced text with Z opens the menu. After mode, next page. Okay, high text window, move cursor to bottom of screen. Wait, drag upward. Backlog, drag left to right. Interesting. Opens the menu, right to left. I purchased my lunch and head to the unoccupied roof. Though it's different in the summertime, during the winter the roof is a convenient place to eat that other students tend to avoid. It's too cold to hang out here during lunch, but that's a small price to pay for privacy.
さて、とりあえずご飯と。
Time to eat. I indulged in the tomato sandwich and hot lemon drink I bought from the cafeteria. It's a simple lunch, made all the more delicious by the fact I can enjoy it up here in peace. I finish the sandwich and sip on the warm, lemony drink. I'm a little tired. It's hard to balance being an overachiever with avoiding human contact as much as possible. As the saying goes, one should be accomplished at both the pen and the sword. It's a point of pride, no, conviction, that I would be the top student of the school. I would decided that if I was going to be a student, then I would be the very best. I don't want people looking down on the Tosaka's name. That's how Rin Tosaka came to be a perfect, flawless student. On the other hand, my occupation as a mage is dangerous, so I shouldn't associate too much with normal people. When a mage is discovered by the public, she has no choice but to eliminate witnesses to protect herself. I would rather not resort to that. That's why I keep my social interactions purely superficial out of necessity. I only hang out with Makidera on my days off, and I turn down invitations from more sociable people like Saekusa. It's difficult walking the tightrope of being the number one student at school while making sure I don't become anybody else's number one. And sure, there are times when it tires me out and I feel like life is a real drag.
もう時間か。
Oh, it's already time. I finish the hot lemon drink and stand up. That's enough sentimentality for today. Time to go back downstairs and become Rin Tosaka again.
ではホームルームを終了する。日直は日誌と戸締まりの確認を。
Homeroom is over. Make sure you log your day shifts and lock the doors and
部
windows.
活動のない生徒は速やかに帰宅するように。
If you don't have any club activities, try to get home quickly. Class 2A's teacher gives his usual spiel and leaves the room. As far as I know, he said it exactly the same way all year.
遠坂、今日はもうお帰り？
Tosaka, are you going home
え
already?
え、朝方麻藤君と一見あったし、面倒になる前に帰るわ。
Yeah, I had a run-in with Mato this morning, so I want to leave before it gets out of hand.
やっぱりそうか。麻藤のやつ、今朝は特に荒れてたからさ。遠坂に手ひどく扱われたんだろうなって思ってた。
Haha, I figured. He sure had a temper this morning. You must have put him through the ringer.
そう、迷惑をかけてしまったかしら、三つさん。
Did he now? Sorry for the trouble.
別に、麻藤が下級生をいびるのはいつものことだし。あれはあれでいい精神鍛錬になるよ。
It wasn't really. Mato's always hard on the younger students. It helps them build character.
そう、よかった。
Glad to hear it. I'll make it up to you later.
はいはい。これに懲りず、また寄っていってちょうだい。
Sure, sure. I hope it doesn't put you off. Stop by again sometime. I make my way home without taking any detours. My time as Rin Tosaka, the honor student, ends once I leave the school. Next half of the day is reserved for the other me. I have to become a mage of the Tosaka. When I arrive back at the house, I'm greeted with the pulsing light of my answering machine.
留守電なんて珍しいな。相手はやっぱりあんたか、キレ。
Voicemail, that's rare. Figures, it's Kirei. Have a feeling I know what he's going to say, but I would better listen or I won't hear the end of it later. Press the play button and hear a familiar male voice.
私だ。分かっていると思うが、期限は明日までだぞ、リン。
It's me, as I'm sure you are aware, tomorrow is the time limit, Rin.
あまり悠長に構えられては困る。残る席はあと2つだ。
We'll have a problem if you procrastinate any further. There are only 2 spots left.
早々にマスターを揃えねばならん。
I must ensure all the masters are in order soon. The priest cuts straight to the
マ
point.
スターの権利を放棄するというのなら、今日中に連絡しろ。予備の魔術師を派遣するにも時間がかかる。
If you plan to forfeit your rights as a master, let me know by today. It will take time to dispatch a substitute mage. A liar, I bet you could find a backup right
お
away.
前にはすでに0時の兆しが現れているのだ。さっさとサーバントを召喚し、0時を開け。
You have already shown signs of a command spell. Promptly summon your servant and bind them to it.
聖杯戦争に参加しないというのならば話は別だ。命が惜しいのなら、早々に教会に駆け込むがいい。
Of course, it's a different discussion if you choose not to take part in the Holy Grail War. If you fear for your life, then come to the church with all due haste. The voicemail ends. It was a clear message in simple language. If you are going to fight, then be ready by today. If you aren't, then retire because you are in the way.
言われなくても分かってるわよ。
I don't need you to tell me that. It's only to be expected, I guess. Today, the last day I can drag this out. Thankfully, I managed to decipher Father's notes yesterday. My battle preparations are in order. All that's left is to seize the right to participate, as he said.
聖杯戦争。たった一つきりの聖杯を奪い合う殺し合い。何百年も前から伝わってきた聖杯の儀式か。
The Holy Grail War. A fight to the death over a single chalice. A ritual that's gone on for centuries. The mages who take part in the Holy Grail War are called masters. It doesn't denote a rank of any kind, it merely describes their role. There is a condition to participate in the Holy Grail War. You must summon a familiar called a servant and form a contract with them. Regardless of your skills as a mage, you are not recognized as a master unless you command a servant. There is a clear difference between servants and normal familiars. The way you summon and use them are different. Mages who plan to fight in the Holy Grail War prepare summoning catalysts, but...
父さんもセイバーにゆかりのものを残してくれればよかったのに。
I wish Father had left me something with a connection to a saber. I don't own any relics with a connection to a servant. I can summon one, yes. In fact, I could do it right now if I wanted to, as well as form a contract. This town's ley lines are under the jurisdictions of the Tosaka. I'm the heir to a clan that's administered to the land for generations, so my performance will not take a backseat to some visiting mage. Although, while that is true, it would be awfully incompetent of me to embark on a figurative voyage without a compass.
サーバントはシンボルによって引き寄せられる。
Servants are drawn to symbols.
強力なサーバントを呼び出したいのなら、そのサーバントにゆかりのあるものが必要不可欠なのだ。
To summon a powerful servant, one needs a symbol with a connection to that servant. In other words, I would need some outrageously valuable item, like a sword or piece of armor that servant owns, Or maybe a bone or heraldry related to them.
父さんの遺言に期待してたんだけどな。これはこれでものすごい切り札なんだけど。
Had such big hopes for father's will? No, he still did leave me a serious trump card. The pendant I discovered in the basement last night is an ancient artifact of the highest quality. It's amazing all on its own. Still, it won't help me summon a servant. Aha!
いいわよ。そんなものに頼らなくたってなんとかなるわ。そもそも私以外にセーバーを扱えるマスターなんているはずないし。
Fine. I don't need to rely on something like that to figure this out. To begin with, I doubt there is any master more qualified to handle Saber than I am. Alright, I've made up my mind. I would rather not get another earful and waiting until the last minute doesn't sit right with me. What is earful? Earful. A prolonged amount of talking, typically an angry reprimand. Okay. That's related to Kirei. Now the real challenge begins. Tonight, I'm going to summon a servant while I'm in peak condition and acquire Saber by force. Late nights, the clock reads almost 2 AM. This is the period where everything lines up. My condition peaks at 2 AM sharp. In terms of limits, this will be my first and last chance, so I can't afford even the slightest mistake.
消去の中に大挙。大挙の陣を4つ刻んで、召喚の陣で囲む。
Withdrawal within elimination. Engrave 4 circles on withdrawal and surround them with a summoning circle. There. I inscribe magic circles into the floor of the basement. Actually, it doesn't take a major evocation to call forth the servant. Servants are invited by the Holy Grail. Masters anchor them to the world and supply the magical energy to materialize them, but the servants are the ones who choose to respond to the summons.
Sony, 銀と鉄。礎に石と契約の太鼓。ソニは我が大使、シュバインオーグ。
For the elements, silver and iron. For the foundation, stone and the Archduke of Pacts. For the ancestor, my great master. Not gonna read that word.
四方の門は閉じ、王冠より出。王国に至る三猿は循環せよ。
Raise a wall for the wind that shall fall. Close the gates of the 4 directions. Come forth from the crown and follow the forked road leading to the kingdom. Still, I need to keep cautious and focus. Magic circles are normally drawn with blood, but tonight I draw mine with melted jewels. I'm using up half of the jewels I've accumulated over my lifetime, so I'll never financially recover from this if it fails. Feel, 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 feel.
繰り返し都度に5度。
Repeat 5 times.
満たされる時を破却する。
But when each is filled, destroyed. It's almost 2 AM. Finish drawing the summoning circle pass down through the Tosaka line and face it with all my being.
アンフォン。
Anfong. I flick a formless switch within myself. With a click, I feel my insides turn over to something else. My normal nerves invert and become circuits for conducting magical energy. Rin Tosaka is no longer human. She's just a component in the execution of mystics. I melt from my fingers. No, I'm filled up from my fingers. The mana I'm taking in is so dense it overrides my bodily sensations. That's why I'm being destroyed at the same time I'm being filled. Running through my body is the power, mana, from the atmosphere. I convert it into a different type of energy through my body's circuits. A mage's body is nothing but circuits. Circuits to connect to ethereal to the material. The mystical outcome we produce is what we call magecraft. My body grows hot. It seems like horns are growing from my forehead. It seems like wings are sprouting from my back. It seems like scales are covering my hands. It feels like there is water pooling around my ankles. Sweat drips. Stab, stab. Swords pierce my body. There are the stigmata that reject my body, which becomes a circuit. These are stigmata. No matter how gifted a mage is, we're only human. In a human body, the pain is something we must live with whenever we use magecraft. The circle doesn't let up. The cycle. Beyond the agony, deep within the trance, lies the mental state necessary for connection. Pain wriggles in my left arm. To aid the caster, my magic crest autonomously begins an incantation, invading my nervous system. The mana in the atmosphere I've taken in turns to blood. It's like molten lead. While my activated magic crest resembles thorny nerves. With a crunching sensation, it creeps throughout my body like a thorny centipede. Within the hurt, I forget myself. At the same time, I can feel it taking hold of me, like I've reached where I need to go. My hypersensitive hearing picks up the ticking clock in the parlor. 10 seconds left until 2 AM. The power filling my body is unquestionably complete. Heed my words. Time to begin. I convert the mana I've collected into magical energy for fixation. All that's left is to feed all the energy into the engine, the summoning circle, until my body runs dry. Heed my words. My will creates your body and your sword creates my destiny. If you heed the Grail's call and obey my will and reason, then answer me. My vision goes dark. What lies before me now is the fifth factor, said to be imperceptible to the naked eye. My vision shuts off on its own, fearing what it might see. I hereby swear, I shall be all the good in the world. I shall defeat all evil in the world. 7 heavens clad in 3 great words of power. Come forth from the circle of binding, guardian of the scales. That went off without a hitch. It feels so perfect, it's like I'm reeling in a whale with a fishing rod. Flawless, I'm positive I just drew the strongest card. I can't wait for my vision to return. It will take a few more seconds, but when it does, I'm sure the strongest servant will be nowhere in sight. Nothing's there. The room doesn't look different at all. I spun that much ether into the ritual only for absolutely nothing to materialize. On top of that, I think I just heard something explode in the parlor. Why? I bolt. My head's empty at this point, I just run. I race up the stairs from the basement. The door is broken. The door to the parlor is askew of its hinges. There isn't any point in turning the doorknob. And since it won't open whether I push or pull, damn it, move you stupid thing. I kick it down and burst into the room. And the moment I enter the parlor, everything becomes clear. Everything is in tatters. Rubble is strewn across everything as if something has fallen through the ceiling. On top of it all sits a man cocking his head arrogantly. He must be some kind of criminal. But something graver draws my attention. The grandfather clock, having escaped destruction, tells the time precisely. Now I remember. Right, of course. The clocks were an hour ahead today, weren't they? Which means it's 1 AM. Still a full hour left until I'm in peak spellcasting form.
またやっちゃった。
I screwed up again. I can complete tasks as well as anybody else, but suffer from the curse of my genetics. When it really counts, I somehow manage to bungle things on an unbelievable level.
やっちゃったことは仕方ない。反省。
What's done is done, just gotta learn from this. I can't believe my own stupidity. Still irritated, I direct my glare at the man lunging haughtily. Haughtily, okay. The man lounging haughtily on the rubble.
それで、あんた何？
So, what are you?
開口一番それか。これはまたとんでもないマスターに引き当てられたものだ。
That's the first thing out of your mouth? I seem to have been dealt a truly ridiculous master. The man in the red mantle shakes his head in a show of exasperation. To add insult to injury, he mutters something about drawing the short straw. Oh, now I'm dead certain. This guy has a messed up personality. And is this a servant? I would thought familiars were shapeless beings, but this is just a man. No, not just a man. Even from here, I can tell that it's brimming with a shocking amount of magical energy. Don't be fooled by its appearance. I'm staring at something that's undoubtedly more than human. It's a human-shaped ghost that's on the level of an elemental. This is no time to be dumbstruck. That thing belongs to me. I need to get my head in the game.
確認するけど、あなたは私のサーバントで間違いない？
Just checking, but you are my servant, right?
それはこちらが聞きたいな。君こそ私のマスターなのか？ここまで乱暴な召喚は初めてでね。正直状況がつかめない。
That's what I wanted to ask. Are you even my master? I've never been summoned so violently before, and honestly, I'm still struggling to get my bearings. Not just a man,
私だ
Hidaka.
って初めてよ。そういう質問は却下するわ。
It's my first time too. I'm not answering questions like that.
そうか。だが私が召喚された時に君は目の前にいなかった。
I
こ
see,
れは
but
どういうことなのか説明してくれ。
I see, but you weren't here when I was summoned. Care to explain why?
本気？ひな鳥じゃあるまいし、目を開けた時にしか主を決められないなんて冗談はやめてよね。
Are you serious? You're no baby bird. Don't joke that you can't decide who to serve if they aren't there when you open your eyes. The unidentified servant frowns and a grunt escapes his lips. Maybe he didn't like the way I said it, though he has a mixed reaction, as if it's still impressed by the logic in my words.
まあいいわ。私が聞いているのはね、あなたが他の誰でもない、この私のサーバントかってことだけよ。
Whatever. What I'm asking is if you are my servant and no one
そ
else's.
れをはっきりさせない以上、他の質問に答える義務はないわ。
I don't have to answer any of your questions until we make that clear.
召喚に失敗しておいてそれか。この場合他に色々と言うべきことがあると思うのだな。
This is what I get after a failed summoning, huh? I believe there is something else you should be saying.
そんなのないわよ。 主従関係は一番初めにはっきりさせておくべきものだもの。
There isn't. In a master-familiar relationship, this is the first detail we need to hash out. The servant's eyebrow twitches. He isn't even bothering to hide his dissatisfaction with me. I wonder if it's because of the half-baked summoning.
主従関係ははっきりさせておくか。やることは失点だらけだが、口だけは達者らしい。
You want to clarify who serves whom? At least you know how to run your mouth, even if you're failed at everything else.
確かにその意見には賛成だ。どちらが強者で、どちらが弱者なのか、明確にしておかなければ、お互いやりづらかろう。
Sure, I agree with that opinion. We ought to make clear who's strong and who's weak, or else it will make this dynamic difficult. The servant eyes me meaningfully, still relaxing on the rubble of my living room.
どちらが弱者かですって？
Who is weak?
私もサーバントだ。呼ばれたからには主従関係を認めるさ。だが、それはあくまで契約上の話だろう。
Yeah, I'm a servant, and I will acknowledge that I serve my summoner, but that's only how it is on paper, wouldn't you say?
どちらがより優れたものか、共に戦うにふさわしい相手かを測るのは別になる。
We still need to establish who's superior and whether you are worthy to fight alongside.
その件でいくと、君は私のマスターにふさわしい魔術師なのかな、お嬢さん。
On that point, are you a mage worthy of my service, little girl? The servant smirks. First, he destroys my house and acts like he's a king of the castle, and now he has the nerve to ask whether I'm worthy?
あなたの意見なんて聞いてないわ。
I didn't ask for your opinion.
私が聞いているのは、あなたが私のサーバントかどうかってことだけよ。
I only asked if you are my servant or not. I repeat myself, stealing my gaze. I'm not going to back down from this condescending jerk.
なるほどなるほど。そんな当たり前のことは答えるまでもないと。実に勇ましい。いや、気概だけなら立派なマスターだが。
Oh, I see. You won't even deign to answer such an obvious question. At least you've got spirit. You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk?
だから順番を間違えるなっていうの。
Like I said, you're getting ahead of yourself.
一番初めに確認するのは召喚者の務めよ。さあ答えなさい。あなたは私のサーバントなのね。
It's the summoner's duty to confirm this first. Now answer me. Are you my servant or not? I step forward aggressively, ready to pounce depending on his answer.
強情なお嬢さんだ。これでは話が進まんな。
Such a stubborn girl, you will get nowhere at this rate.
仕方あるまい。仮に私が君のサーバントだとしよう。で、その場合、君が私のマスターなのか。いやまあ、あくまで仮の話だが。
Very well. For decision's sake, let's assume that I'm your servant. In that case, are you my master? Hypothetically speaking, of course.
当たり前じゃない。あなたが私に呼ばれたサーバントなら、あなたのマスターは私以外に誰がいるっていうのよ。
Obviously, you're the servant I summoned, so who else would it be? I glare at this rude man, giving my seething head a moment to cool down.
そうか。まあ仮の話なんだが、とりあえずそうだとしよう。
Oh, well, I suppose I would be, hypothetically.
君が私のマスターである証はどこにある？
Then where is the proof that you are my master? The servant blithely asks, smirking all the while. He's clearly trying to goad me with these questions into losing my temper.
ここよ。あなたのマスターである証ってこれでしょ？
Right here, this proves that I'm your master. I show him the command spells on my right hand. Don't think I was born yesterday. Father's told me enough that I know what command spells are, at least.
納得いった？これでもまだ文句を言うの？
Good enough for you yet? Any other complaints? I thrust the symbols at him in challenge. But the lounging servant rolls his eyes.
まいったな。本気で言っているのか、お嬢さん。
Are you serious right now, girl? His face darkens, looking even more disgruntled.
本気かってなんでよ。
What do you mean?
その考えがだ。霊樹があればマスターなのか。霊樹などサーバントを利する道具に過ぎないだろう。
I'm talking about the way you think. Common spells automatically make you my master. They're merely tools to compel a
ま
servant.
ったくそんな形だけのものでマスターブルとはな。
I can't believe you think flaunting some symbols is enough to play
私
master.
が見たかったのは君が忠誠を振るうにふさわしい人物かどうかだったのだが。
What I want to see is whether you deserve my loyal service. That makes sense, but normally you would think of command spells if someone asked for proof you are a master, right?
何よ。それじゃあ私はマスター失格？
What? You think I'm unqualified to be your
そう
master?
願いたいがそうはいくまい。霊樹がある以上私の召喚者は君のようだ。信じがたいが君は本当に私のマスターらしいな。
I wish that were the case, but unfortunately your command spells show that you summoned me. As hard as it is to believe, you appear to be my master. He shrugs in mock exhaustion. Oh, I've reached my boiling point and I'm not going to cool down in
全
time.
くもって不満だが認めよう。
I'm hardly satisfied, but I will concede the
とりあ
points.
えず君は私のマスターだ。だが私にも条件がある。私は今後君の言い分には従わない。戦闘方針は私が決めるし君はそれに従って行動する。
For now, you are my master, but I have conditions. I'm not going to do what you say. I will decide the direction of battle, and you will act as I see fit.
これが最大の譲歩だ。それで構わないな、お嬢さん。
This is the greatest concession I can give you. I'm sure you don't mind, girl.
そう。不満だけど認めるくせに私の意見には取り合わないってどういうことかしら。あなたは私のサーバントなんでしょ
No, that's not the input. Fuck. Okay. Oh, sorry, father. I'm at my limit. Okay, you're saying you will recognize me. You are saying you will recognize me even though you don't like it, but you will ignore my opinions? Aren't you supposed to be my servant? I asked in a trembling voice. After our spat over the common spells, this is my last desperate attempt at the dialogue. And yet,
形の上だけはな。故に形式上は君に従ってやる。だが戦うのは私自身だ。君はこの家の地下にでも隠れて聖杯戦争が終わるまでじっとしていればいい。
yes, technically, therefore I will obey you in theory, but I'm the one who will be fighting. You can just hide underground in your house and behave until the Holy Grail war is
そ
over.
れなら未熟な君でも命だけは助かるだろう。
That way, even a novice like you will survive. He's looking down on me, declaring that he expects nothing from me.
怒ったのか？いや、もちろん君の立場は尊重するよ。私はマスターを勝利させるために呼ばれたものだからな。
Did I make you angry? Of course, I respect your position. I was summoned to bring my master victory after all.
私の勝利は君のものだし、戦いで得たものは全て君にくれてやる。それなら文句はなかろう。
My victories will belong to you, as will any spoils of war. You hardly have anything to complain about.
どうせ君に霊樹は使えまい。
You can't even use those command spells.
まあ、後のことは私に任せて、君は自分の身の安全を。
Just leave the rest to me and worry about your own skin.
あ、玉来た。
I've had it with
いい
you.
わ。そんなに言うなら使ってやろうじゃない。
Fine, if that's how it's going to be, then I will use them. No more mercy. I've got nothing else left for a jackass like this.
まさか
What? Don't tell me.
そのまさかよこの礼儀知らず
It's exactly what you're thinking, you dirtbag.
シアトラークアイノヤナーゲンアイノヤスケナツアイノヤスウェアブレヒン
待て正気かマスターそんなことでレイジを使うやつが
You... Wait, have you lost your mind, Master? You would waste a command spell on something like this?
いいあんたは私のサーバントなら私の言い分には絶対服従ってもんでしょ
Shut up. You are my servant, get it? That means you absolutely have to do what I say. The emblem on my right hand aches. 3 command spells. They allow a master to issue 3 unbreakable commands to their servants.
考えなすか君はこんな大雑把なことにレイジを使うなど
Did you even think this through? If you use a command spell on such a vague order... Ugh, it's too late to whine now. I didn't expect this to happen either. I want to die of self-loathing. Emblem Knight. Except the one in the bottom right corner. Not reading Latin. I'm sorry. I can't believe I just burned one of my precious command spells on a petty squabble. After that, I retreated from the ruins of the parlor and went to my bedroom. Before me stands the servant whom my command spells compelled absolute obedience from. Supposedly, anyway.
なるほど君の性質は大体理解したぞマスター
I see. I more or less have you figured out, Master. Who would call this absolute obedience?
念のため尋ねるが君はレイジがどれほど重要か理解しているのかマスター
Just to be clear, do you understand how critical the command spells are, Master?
知ってるわよサーバントを律する3回きりの命令権でしょそれが何よ
Sure I do. They let me order my servant around 3 times. What about it?
いいかねレイジはサーバントを強制的に行動させるものだ
Listen, command spells let you force a servant into action.
行動を止めるだけでなく行動を強化させるという意味でもある
You can use them not only to stop actions but also strengthen actions.
例えば私はここから遠くの場所まで瞬間的には移動できないだがレイジで行けと命じればそれが私と君の魔力で届くことならば可能となる
For example, normally I can't come to you instantly from a distant location, but if you order me to with your command spell, it's possible as long as it is something that is attainable with our magical
強
energies.
制命令権とはそういうことだサーバント自身でも制御できない肉体の限界さえ突破させる大魔術の結晶が3つの霊樹なのだまあ今では2つに減ってしまったがな
That's what the power of forced compliance means. Not even we servants can resist. We servants can resist. Our common spells are 3 crystallizations of grand magecrafts that can make us overcome our bodily limits. Though you are down to 2 now.
知ってるわよそんなこといいじゃないまだ2つあるんだしあなたに命じた規則は無駄じゃないんだし
I know that, so what? I still have 2 more, and it's not like the first order was wasted on you.
確かにこれは私の誤算だった
You are right, I did miscalculate.
霊樹というものは曖昧な命令には効きが弱くなる
The more vague an order is, the more the power of a command spell diminishes.
私を守り通せこの戦いに勝てなどといった広く長く効果が続くものには霊樹の力が弱くなる効き目は長く続くが苦痛が小さいため逆らえるサーバントも出てくるだろう
They are weaker on long-lasting, broad commands like protect me until the end or win this war for me. The compulsion will be sustained, but there will be servants who can resist the minor pain of disobedience. Shit.
逆に次の一撃を死ぬ気で放て あのグラスだけは壊すなといった単一の命令は絶対で、よほど強力なサーバントでも逆らうのは難しくなる。
On the other hand, singular commands like unleash your next attack at all costs or do not break that glass are absolute, and even powerful servants will find it difficult to defy them.
さて、ここまでで私が言いたいことがわかるな、マスター。
Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you, Master?
わかるわよ。要するに広く長い命令は意味がないんでしょ。
Yes, you are saying that vague commands are pointless.
効果も戒めも薄いならサーバントは令樹に逆らって行動できる。そんな効き目の薄い命令をするなら絶対的な単一の命令をした方がいい。
If the effect and restrictions are both weak, then servants can act against their command spells. It's better to use them on a simple, straightforward order rather than something abstract.
そうだ。レイジとはもともと自分たちの能力以上の奇跡を起こすためのもの。それを代用の効く命令などで消費する句は許されない。
That's correct. A command spell is meant to cause miracles beyond our own means. It's unforgivably foolish to spend them on a task that can be executed by other
君の
means.
先ほどのレイジはまさにそれだ。私が君に従うかは話し合いで解決できたことだし、仮にレイジを使ったところで全ての言動に絶対服従などレイジが100あっても実現できない。
That goes doubly for the way you used it earlier. You could have verbally persuaded me to obey, and even 100 command spells would have failed to enforce absolute obedience.
じゃあ私のさっきの令樹は無意味ってこと？
So you are saying it was all for nothing?
通常ならそうなのだがな。どうも君の魔術師としての性能は桁が違ったらしい。
Normally, that would be the case, but it appears that you are an outstandingly talented mage. Is he shocked or happy? My servant's lips twitch upward, even as he sighs.
桁が違ったってもしかして。
By outstanding, you mean...
ちょっとあなた、自分が今どんな状態なのか正直に話してみなさい。
Hang on, tell me honestly what your condition is like right now. The implication dawns on me and I ask him eagerly.
ああ、誤算というのはそれだ。
That was my miscalculation.
先ほどの命令では少しはマスターの意見を尊重しようという程度の心変わりにしかならない。
Your command should have resulted in a change of heart that would make me want to respect your opinion slightly more.
だが今の私は君の言葉に強い強制を感じている。君の意見に異を唱えると、そうだな、ランクが一つばかり落ちるようだ。
But I can feel a strong compulsion from your every word. If I voice an objection, let me think, it's as if my defiance would weaken
つ
me.
まりマスターの意向に逆らうと体が重くなって動きづらいというところか。
In other words, my body will grow heavy, making it difficult to move if I defy my master's will. My servant shrugs in resignation. So he's saying that my command spell wasn't a waste but an actual benefit? He's still being as sarcastic as ever, so it doesn't seem to have had any effect. Besides, even if he's weakened, I doubt even 10 of me could resist if he decided to rebel against me.
前言を撤回しよう、マスター。
Allow me to retract my previous statement, Master.
年齢は若いが、君は卓越した魔術師だ。
You may be young, but you are a superior
子
mage.
供と侮り、戦いから遠ざけようとしたのは私の過ちだった。無礼ともども謝ろう。
It was my mistake for underestimating you as a child and trying to keep you out of the fight. I apologize for my rudeness. The servant straightens his posture and gives me a formal bow.
やめてよ。確かにいろいろ言い合ったけど、そんなの喧嘩両成敗っていうか。
Wait, hold on. I know we said a lot of things to each other, but it's not like we need to make up after.
そうか。いや、話のわかるマスターで助かった。
Is that so? Good. I'm glad you are so understanding.
なんか切り返し早いわね、あんた。
Hopefully quick on the uptake, aren't you?
何？誤算は誤算だったが、 嬉しい誤算というやつだったからな。これほどの才能があるのなら君を戦いに巻き込むことに異論はない。
I indeed miscalculated, but this must be what they call a happy accident. I have no qualms bringing a mage of your talents into the war. Is this his roundabout way of saying I'm a strong
じ
master?
ゃあレイジュ抜きで私がマスターだって認めるのね。
So, will you recognize me as your master even without the common spells?
無論だ。先ほどは召喚されたばかりで馴染んでいなかったが、今では完全につながった。魔術師であるのなら契約によるつながりを感じるだろう。
Yep. Of course. I was still getting my bearings after the summoning earlier, but we're now completely connected. As a mage, you should be able to feel the bond of our pact.
契約？
Our pact? Now that he mentions it, something does feel weird about my body. It's as if my closed-off nerves are now connected to the outside. Specifically, I can feel a portion of my magical energy flowing to the man before me.
そっか。サーバントは聖杯に呼ばれるけど、呼ばれたサーバントをこの世に留めるのは。
Oh, the Holy Grail calls the servants, but masters keep them in the
そう
world.
マスターの力だ。サーバントはマスターからの魔力提供によってこの世にとどまる。
Yes, that's your power as a master. You supply your servant with magical energy so that they can remain in the
魔
world.
力提供量は十分だ。経験的に問題はありそうだが、君の能力は飛び抜けている。
And my supply is adequate. I have concerns about your inexperience, but your powers make up for it.
普通の魔術師ならば、サーバントを召喚した瞬間に意識を失っているだろう。だというのに、君は活力に満ちている。
A common mage would probably faint the second they summon a servant, yet you are standing here full of life.
先ほどのレイジといい、この魔力量といい、マスターとして君は間違いなく一流だ。
Considering the common spell you used earlier, your energy capacity unquestionably makes you a master of the finest caliber.
今更褒めたって何も出ないけど。
Flattery won't get you anywhere. I break eye contact out of embarrassment. Well, I didn't see this coming. I know the common spell is making him obey me, but still, this superhuman servant is sincerely acknowledging me as his master.
で、あなた何のサーバント？
So, which servant are you? I clear my head and return to business.
見てわからないか？ああ、それは結構。
You can't tell by looking? Very well then. I take it all back. He's definitely making fun of me.
わかったわ。ねえ、あなたセイバーじゃないの？
Fine, then I'm asking you as your master. Hey, aren't you a saber?
残念ながら剣は持っていない。
Unfortunately, I'm not equipped with a sword. I suspected as much. When all's said and done, I got the time wrong, my summoning circle didn't do its job, and my servant was spat out into some random room. It was far too sloppy of a ritual to summon the strongest servant, Saber.
ドジったわ。あれだけ宝石を使っておいてセイバーじゃないなんて目も当てられない。
I really botched it this time. I'll never leave down failing to pull Saber after spending that many gems.
悪かったな、セイバーでなくて。
Sorry, I'm not Saber.
え？ああ、そりゃ通行のミスだから残念だけど、悪いのは私なんだから。
Well, sure, it's a painful mistake, but I'm the only one who screwed up.
なあ、どうせアーチャーでは派手さに欠けるだろうよ。
Yes, I bet you think Archer isn't a very attractive class.
後で今の暴言を悔やませてやる。その時になって謝っても聞かないからな。
Alright, I will make you eat those words. When the time comes, I won't be taking any apologies.
はい？
What? What a surprise. The unidentified servant seems to be sulking. Maybe my fixation on Saber offended him.
何？勘に触った？あーちゃん。
That strike a nerve, Archer?
触った。 ず自分が幸運だったと思い知らせてやる。
It did. Just you watch. I'll show you how lucky you are to have me. Archer retorts with a sidelong glance. He has a really spiteful air about him, but that reaction felt somehow childish and free of malice. You know, he might be a pretty decent guy.
そうね。それじゃあ必ず私を後悔させて、はーちゃん。
Okay, make sure I regret what I said, Archer.
そうなったら素直に謝らせてもらうから。
I will apologize from the bottom of my heart if so.
ああ、忘れるなよ、マスター。己が召喚したものがどれほどのものか知って感謝するがいい。
You'd better remember that, Master. You will be grateful once you learn how capable I
も
am.
っとも、その時になって謝られても、こちらの気は張るんだろうがな。
Of course, an apology might not satisfy me at that point. Archer huffs even as his lips twist into a grin. Oh yeah, this one's got a rotten personality, alright.
まあいいわ。それであんた、どこの英霊なのよ。
Fine, anyway, you are a heroic spirit, so where's your legend originally from? Archer doesn't answer. His sardonic expression is replaced by a deepening frown.
はーちゃん？マスターである私がサーバントであるあなたに聞いているんだけど。
Archer, your master just asked you a
それ
question.
は秘密だ。
It's a secret.
私がどのようなものだったかは答えられない。
What? I can't tell you where I'm from because...
あのね、つまんない理由だったら怒るわよ。
Hey, I will get mad if you give me a lame excuse.
それは
Well, there is that face again. Archer opens and closes his mouth as he's having trouble voicing an uncomfortable truth.
なぜかというと、自分でもわからない。
Because, I don't know. Wait, what?
何よそれ。あんた私のことバカにしてるわけ？
Are you making fun of me again?
マスターを侮辱するつもりはない。
I don't mean to insult you.
これは君の不完全な召喚のつけだぞ。どうも、記憶に混乱が見られる。自分が何者であるかはわかるのだが、名前や素性がどうも曖昧だ。まあ、さして重要な欠落ではないから、気にすることはないのだが。
But it must be because of the imperfect summoning. My memories are jumbled. I know who I am, but my name and origins are a haze. Still, it isn't valuable information. There is no need to concern.
あんたがどんな英霊か知らなきゃどのくらい強いのかわからないじゃない。
Of course I'm concerned. If I don't know which heroic spirit you are, then how am I supposed to know how strong you are?
なんだ、そんなことは問題ではなかろう。さまつな問題だよ、それは。
Then what's the problem? That's a trivial question.
つってあんたね、相棒の強さがわからないんじゃ作戦の立てようがないでしょ。そんなんで戦っていけるわけないじゃない。
There you go again. How am I supposed to form a strategy if I can't tell how strong my partner is? We can't fight a war like that.
何を言う。私は君が呼び出したサーバントだ。それが最強でないはずがない。
What do you mean? I'm the servant that you summoned. Naturally, that makes me the strongest. He's so straightforward. Crimson Knight fixes me with a gaze full of confidence and trust. What? My brain grinds to a halt. There is no deception in Archer's words. He's sincerely giving me more credit than I deserve, even though we've just met. My cheeks are burning. I'm sure I'm blushing bright red right now. Surprise attacks like this tend to be my weakness.
もういいか。誰にも正体がわからないってことには変わりはないんだし、敵を騙すにはまず味方からって言うし。
Fine then, at least nobody else knows who you are. They say you have to fool your allies to fool your enemies. I turn away from Archer to hide my embarrassment. I'm sure I will figure out in due time what sort of servant he is anyway. For now, we have other priorities.
わかった。しばらくあなたの正体に関しては不問にしましょう。
Okay, I won't ask about your identity for the time
それ
being.
じゃあ 最初の仕事だけど
Then Archer, here's your first job.
早速か。好戦的だな、君は。
Jumping straight to it, are we? Guess you are an aggressive type.
それで敵は
Where is the... Before he can say enemy, I toss a broom and dustpan at him.
下の掃除お願いあんたが散らかしたんだから責任持ってきれいにしといてね
Go clean up the mess you made downstairs. A few seconds pass in stunned silence. When Archer finally regains his senses, he grips the broom indignantly. Indignantly.
君はサーバントを何だと
What is the word? Indignantly.
Indignantly.
Okay, it is indignantly. In a manner indicating anger or annoyance at something perceived as unfair.
思っている。
Wait, what exactly do you think a servant is?
使い魔でしょちょっと生意気で扱いに困るけど
A familiar, right? A little uppity and hard to deal with, though. Archer cuts himself off. Have no intention of letting him off, and if he tries to weasel out of it, I still have a card to play.
意義あり。
いいのこれマスターとしての命令よマスターの方針に逆らったら体が重くなるんだっけ
I object, I refuse to... Are you sure? This is a direct order from your master. I thought you said you would feel weighed down if you went against me.
まああなたはその程度じゃどうってことないだろうけどそのペナルティは今を掃除するまで続くのよそんな状態で明日から戦っていくのは危ないんじゃない
It's too bad if that's too much for you to handle, but the penalty will continue until the parlor is clean, you know? Won't that pose a risk to you when we start fighting tomorrow? He stands there for several more seconds with broom in hand, grumbling under his breath. And so the archer in the red mantle closes his eyes.
了解した。地獄に落ちろ、マスター。
Understood. Go to hell, master. And gracefully accepts my order. Now then, it's getting late, so I should rest. I can decide how to deal with him once I wake up. A fateful day draws to a close. No, rather, my fate was shaped by this night. That makes 6, including me. Once the 7th and final master summons their servant, the Holy Grail War of this generation will begin. In the not-so-distant future, the battle I've been waiting 10 long years for is about to commence. First of February. The Holy Grail War. It's a grand ritual that's been repeated for hundreds of years. A fight to the death between 7 participants, of which only one can survive. It is said that the Holy Grail exists in the land of Fuyuki and that a number of mages fought over it in the past. Their one and only objective was to obtain the relic called the Holy Grail. However, the Grail's origin are unclear. We're sure it isn't the chalice that held the blood of God, but its power is fearsome enough to be compared to the genuine article. That's right. They say the Holy Grail can grant any wish. Only one person can possess it. The Holy Grail can only grant one wish for one person. Despite that, 7 mages are needed to summon the Grail to this land. 7 collaborators to create one miracle. So, as you might imagine, it was only a matter of time before they started fighting over the Grail. Like so many conflicts, it started as a competition over property rights. 7 mages equally used the power of the Holy Grail to summon their respective familiars, then do battle over the Grail itself. Only one mage can obtain the Grail. As a result, 7 people who started as colleagues ended up in a ferocious battle to death. That's the gist of the ritual known as the Holy Grail War, a struggle for ownership between mages. The mages chosen by the Holy Grail are called Masters, who use the blessing of the Grail to acquire powerful familiars known as servants. Two things serve as proof that one has become a master: the summoning and command of a servant, and the mark of command spells to compel the servant's servitude. The first goes without saying. The archer I summoned yesterday, no, a few hours ago to be exact, is Rin Tosaka's servant. As for second, a master must closely guard the command spells that control one's servant. This is probably the most critical aspect of being a master. When I summoned the archer, symbols appeared on my right hand, namely command spells. Stigmata bestowed by the Holy Grail upon the summoning of a servant that mark one's new status as a master. A massive amount of magical energy is compressed into these seals, whose power is fleeting rather than long-lasting. They disappear once they are used, and as their shape suggests, each mark represents a single use. In other words, one only gets 3 shots. A master who has used up all 3 command spells can no longer control a servant and is as good as dead. Therefore, command spells must be handled with care until the very end, since they are as valuable as one's own life. It pains me to no end that I burned one right off the bat, but it wasn't a total waste, so I'll chalk it up as a win. After all, a servant could turn on its master at any time. If one command spell is what it takes to put a collar on him, then I consider it a fair trade. That's about it for the broader strokes of this business. Once 7 servants have been summoned, the Holy Grail War will begin. Tonight's sleep will be a fitful one. I don't know when the final master will appear, but they could be right around the corner. I'll probably be done for today, guys. Probably, like, we're not gonna finish prologue. Like, prologue is pretty long, and I don't think that's... Like, I'm just tired, generally. Oh, so you have, like, autosaves in this version as well. That's pretty good. Okay. Okay, so I can't back to title because I haven't finished the prologue yet. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. This insanely useless stream, yet very enjoyable. I actually was very tired at the start, so I'm surprised that I've been able to play for over 2 hours. It's pretty interesting. A lot of reading. I don't think I've said so many words in English in such short period of time in the past, like, I don't even know how long. In a very long time, probably. So yeah, I'm gonna... Can we have ASMR tag next time? Am I speaking that quietly? That's like... It's ASMR like? You can also switch to whispering? No thank you, dude. Okay, let's find person to raid. Probably gonna raid Kata, since... Why not?
Yeah, that's another thing.
Oops. Oh, we can knock. Okay, let's try to knock to Kata. Knock.
Sadly, I have some work meetings. Enjoy your day, peeps. Enjoy weekend as well.
Dude, this
Sounds
fucking
good.
knocking is like such a
All
pathetic...
right. Have a great weekend, dude. Thanks for hanging out.
Such a pathetic feature. I don't even know how it's supposed to work.
The Ray Trace mode is a
Oh, it's a normal voice, okay.
Only play on the very high preset.
Dude, I want to knock to someone, but it just... It, like,
insane, yeah.
it just doesn't work.
I mean, hey, I'm used to not playing on the max settings. That said,
I don't even know,
put quite a
like,
bit of money
is my
into this.
microphone working or
It
not.
is basically the highest fucking performance that you can get.
It's such a weird
It's like
thing, dude.
4090.
Like, holy
So I should be able to play
settings,
on max, but
camera,
never mind. It's
microphone.
probably still gonna look very gorgeous. And I haven't really played anything like super demanding. Well, anything demanding on this PC ever. Yo, what's up, Pineapple? How you doing, dude?
Dude, I can't even see like whether or not I can be
It's
heard in
okay.
this.
Decent early game, then had some incident at Sunflower, but didn't die. So
Join stream now
run
near
still
category.
continues. How
But I
about you?
can't.
How's it going?
I can't. I mean, I
10
requested.
low on most modern games. Dang, this game looks good.
Yeah, I know, right?
It really does, but
I can knock
the question
again.
is how
Let's
optimized
go.
is it, right?
The giga knocking.
Your car broke down? That is spamming me with the new fucking Twitch feature, and it's taken up over my chat, and it's really fucking annoying. Could you fucking stop? Because it's like, it shows a pop-up at the top of the chat, and it moves the chat down. So a message that I was reading that was at the very top got fucking moved. Yeah, I'll just set it probably, I don't know. I mean, I assume people are not gonna abuse it. I don't know what the default setting is.
Well, clearly Kata is not very happy about me knocking to him. I'm Megalu.
There's a new feature.
Okay, let's rate Kata.
Yeah, it's knock knock essentially. You can like collaborate with people on Twitch pretty easily. You essentially send them a request while they're live.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna be back tomorrow with some Elden Ring. I will make sure to highlight all the Fate streams because I think it's a good thing to preserve this kind of playthrough. Because maybe, you know, like, I don't know, maybe there are gonna be like at least one crazy person in the world that will find it interesting to like occasionally come back and watch VODs or whatever. So they're not lost, because the game is giga fucking long. Like, it's really long, so I'm gonna be probably playing it for like months. So yeah, take care guys, see you next time, have a good one.